Welcome to another Ryan Sports Views. Tonight I'm recapping the Conference Semifinals and predicting the Conference Finals in the 2021 MLS Cup Playoffs. This will be a quick video. I hit a little bit of a recap of each match and predict the semifinal matchups. So first off, we'll go in chronological order. First off, Colorado Rapids 0, Portland Timbers 1. First half, Portland Timbers were being dominated. I wouldn't say dominated, but definitely Colorado was the better team. Second half, though, Colorado doesn't change their game plan. They start getting tired out. They can't figure out the Portland defense. They don't put in through balls. They realize their first game plan doesn't work, or they should have realized that, but they don't change anything. Portland holds firm until late on in the game. Mabiala with a goal to win it. An amazing cross situation. They got it there. 1-0 Portland. Colorado gets upset. I did get that match right, but the rest of them, no, because this weekend was crazy, or this round was crazy. Next up, Sporting Kansas City 1, Real Salt Lake 2. Honestly, besides the penalty that Kansas City got, which you could even say maybe it wasn't, they really didn't create much. They did the same thing they did against Vancouver, but it just didn't get through, you know? Real Salt Lake did what they had to do. They had a pretty good game plan. Sporting Kansas City, again, runs out of gas because Peter Vermees doesn't know how to sub players. He doesn't know how to rotate his teams. And when he tries to get his teams, just play them as many times as he thinks he should, he runs them into the ground, and this was the moment. Real Salt Lake overtook Kansas City. Fair play. Real Salt Lake has shocked everybody so far this playoff, from being a team who shouldn't even have been there, by getting there by a late goal after a horrible missed call by pro referees. They win a penalty shootout without even having a shot against Seattle. They get 2 goals against Sporting Kansas City and beat them in Kansas City. This is a great run, and they're proving a lot of people wrong. And it was a great ending there with Bobby Wood scoring right at the death. Bobby Wood, though, a guy who played with their USL side for like 2 months this year. Crazy, right? Crazy. Bobby Wood, I guess, paid for himself in one fell swoop, even though he was a flop everywhere else this season for Real Salt Lake. But hey, there you go. That's how football goes, I guess. They're going to remember that. He's not a flop anymore. Next up, Philadelphia Union 1, Nashville SC 1, 2-0 on penalties for Philadelphia Union. A very tight game for both sides. A situation where I wasn't really shocked. Both teams were very similar. They both had their moments. I'd say Nashville only played for about 40 minutes. Philly was the better team for most of the game. But they were both very close. There wasn't much to separate them, but that penalty shootout, my God, so horrible. Now, I know Andre Blake, the best goalkeeper in CONCACAF bar none, was in their head rent-free. Built a damn mansion there. And that atmosphere at Subaru Park was freaking lights out, frankly. 2-0 for Philly on a penalty shootout. Nashville, that's the worst penalty shootout I've ever seen, and I'm a Toronto fan. How do you do that? Crazy. Again, got the last 2 games wrong, so I'm 1 for 3. And finally, New England Revolution 2, NYCFC 2, 3-5 on penalties for NYCFC. For me, let's be honest here, New England were rusty. They didn't show up. NYCFC brought the game to the Revs in Gillette Stadium. They were not afraid. Tati Castellanos honestly put that team on his back until he got that second yellow, but he did get the goal that could have won it until Tejan tied it up late on after the red card, the second yellow. But really, though, New York deserved to win that match. Honestly, the way it was played, they deserved to win that match. They were the better team. They were better than the Revs. The Revs were rusty. They were the ones that had the problems with rust. The Rapids did not. The Rapids were still a well-oiled machine in their game. They just got beat late, but they played pretty well. The Revs were the ones who were the ones with the rust. 23 days, I guess, could do that to you, but those buys are cursed. Those buys are cursed. Hopefully there's 8 teams in the playoffs per conference next year, because no, Toronto's probably not getting first in the East anyway, so probably not something for me to worry about. They'll make the playoffs, they're just not getting first in the East. I don't think we're going to do that good on the rebuild in 3 months. We'll do the right things. We'll do good enough to get 4th place in the East, 5th place. Nothing else. But I was 1 for 4 on my predictions for this round, because, of course, all the upsets. Now, my conference final predictions. First off, the Western Conference Final, Portland Timbers versus Real Salt Lake at Providence Park, Portland. Even without Dairon Asprilla and Sebastian Blanco for about 75, 80 minutes, because it sounds like he can make a sub appearance, Gio Savarese said he can make a sub appearance, and I think he does. Diego Valeri will do what he needs to do. This is going to be Diego Valeri's last stand as a Portland Timber, probably. His last symphony. And hell, who knows, maybe he'll play in the MLS Cup too if he does well on the conference final. But even a weakened Portland would beat Real Salt Lake. Now, I will say, Real Salt Lake has proved a lot of people wrong, but Providence Park is probably the most vicious environment they'll be in this whole run. And Portland, even without Asprilla and Blanco for most of the match, you still have Valeri, you still have Santiago Moreno. Santi Moreno, he was great, by the way, in the stead of Blanco. You have Niascolda, Mora. Simple as, the Timbers are better, even without Asprilla and Blanco, for the most part. They are. And Savarese is a better manager than Mastroeni. It's Portland. At home, better team, better manager. This is where the Cinderella run ends, but honestly, it was house money at this point. Portland goes to MLS Cup. 100%. They have to. They will. I'm not going to sleep on the Portland Timbers like everybody else is for some reason. Now, I don't know if they're doing that because Portland would be the better as the underdogs, but I had Portland going to MLS Cup anyway this year. Portland's going to MLS Cup. I'm the one who's hyping them up. Everybody else is down on them. But Portland deserves to be hyped up, and I am hyping them up. Okay? Love y'all, Portland. Y'all great. Also the Thorns, too. Because Canada doesn't have a NWSL team, or I should say Toronto. Until that happens, Portland. Thorns. Because Christine Sinclair. Also, Rian Wilkerson. And Karina LeBlanc. That works for me. Next up. Philadelphia Union versus NYCFC in the Eastern Conference Final. I got the Union. Okay, I got the Union because listen to me here. NYCFC has lost Tati Castellanos. Their backup strikers are Heber, Thiago Andrade, and Thales Magno. Good players. Can they handle that beast's lion's den called Subaru Park? I don't know. But I will say this. Philadelphia are a damn good team. They definitely have no strikers. Definitely not. Shabilko hasn't shown up at all in these playoffs. Hell, he hasn't shown up since the Champions League. Yeah, he did win the Golden Boot there, but who cares? New York has the offense, but what about their defense? And without Tati, what do you think about their backup strikers? Can they get it done? I don't know. I like Thiago Andrade. Very good player. I like Heber. I don't really know about Thales Magno. He's an okay player, but you got to go with Thiago Andrade, I think. But even then, does he replace Tati? Do you get some out of Ismail Tajuri-Shradi, which he should start in this case? I think. You need him to start, Tajuri-Shradi. I still think Philly figures out how to get it done at home. I just do. I say on penalties again. They go all the way again. Well, they almost went all the way against the Red Bulls, but Glenez ended that. 120 plus 3, but they were damn close. Penalties against Nashville. I think they go to extra time and penalties again against NYCFC, but this time it goes the Union's way. Union go through the MLS Cup. So my predicted MLS Cup is the Portland Timbers versus the Philadelphia Union on December 11th at Providence Park. Going to be a good one, I think. And I'd back Portland there too, but we'll get into that once we get there. May not even happen that way, but we'll see. So, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell all your friends. Check out my Patreon. $5, $10, or $20 a month. Anything's appreciated. Or you could just wait till my YouTube memberships start next year, like the middle of January. We'll make that work. That'll be lower, though. I don't think it'll be 5, 10, 20. It'll be lower. And I think it'll be better, too. Also, if you want to support by liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, hitting that big red bell notification. Once you subscribe, super chats on the live streams, putting this in playlists, sharing this with your friends and family, all that great stuff. Tomorrow, I have a CONCACAF League semifinals recap. Should be about an 8-minute something video. Not much, but easy as you like. Tell you how my predictions went for the semis. How I felt about those ties. No predictions for the final. That comes before the final. Next week. Monday, I think. We'll see how that goes. But definitely. It'll be Monday. Probably, I think. But there you go. Just recap for Champions CONCACAF League semi tomorrow. So I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See you later.